The issues of Liberia hit the news.
What is it that we, the Liberian people, want?
The Liberian communities in the diasporas are not left out. That's why Diaspora Talk is back on your screens on KMTV.
In fact, the United Party is not cohesive.
Be it social, political, economic, and other issues affecting Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
I did not expect to even make it to Hollywood.
Join Cyrus McGee and Nathan Charles every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, live on KMTV, Facebook, and YouTube.
I want to be arrested in the midst of my people.
As they discuss the issues, blending the voices from Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
The Liberian Business Association in the diaspora should be used as a vehicle for economic development in Liberia because no country can develop without a diaspora impact.
For sponsorship, call cell numbers 612-806-5896, 816-433-3979, or better still, email us at usakmtv@gmail.com. Diaspora Talk, from this house. And I tell you, we are on this edition of the Diaspora Talk on a relatively sad note. Today is the 23rd day of August, 2023. Just one day to Liberia's National Flag Day. But like I said, on a very sad note, yesterday, young Liberians involved in that tragic motor accident on the Kakata and highway there. We understand they were en route to Bond County as part of the CDC campaign. They call themselves the Girls of Weir. 6 persons, I understand, were involved. Two of them are reportedly dead. Others are, undergoing medical attention at the John F. Kennedy Medical Hospital in Monrovia, where they were transferred, and all with the campaign thing. Days to the general and presidential election in Liberia. I'd like to say welcome to Diaspora Talk. We're coming to you live from our studios here in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. We are here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. My name is Cyrus McGee. I'd like to welcome you, and sorry for the late turnout here from us due to some technical issues. I'm here with my colleagues Nathan Charles and Joanne Sear. Together, we will be bringing you bits and pieces for happenings across Liberia, especially in this period of campaigning. Guys, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having us. We're glad to be back again to with today's edition. I know it's a sad day for all of us, no matter which political party you're a part of. People lost their lives, and they were young people who we were all, as we say, the young people are future leaders. And so those, no matter which party they had their support for or who they were trying to support, the fact that people died, it's something that we should all be concerned about, and see what can we do so as to have this thing not be repeated.
We are here to discuss the issues and looking at what's happening in Liberia, elections, and all of the, we call it shiniki's, that dilute them.
Yeah, so on that note, we'd like to say welcome. We are proudly associated, or the Park Liquor Store here in Brooklyn Park is proudly associated with Diaspora Talk, the Mama T's restaurant, as well as the Brooklyn Chiropractor. They are all, associating with this program. It's all campaign across Liberia. I know you guys been watching. Have we had the names of those that were in the accident? I know there were releases out. Different people, kind of identifying with the families of the bereaved. The Coalition for Democratic Change, we understand, officially suspended their campaigns due to the death of the 2 ladies. Yesterday, they've suspended their campaign. We will see whether we can get the names of those ladies as we go about. But Nathan, you've been watching the different campaigns so far, the different talks that are coming up. What's the latest?
I think let's play our TikTok
The
videos.
TikTokers. Yes, social media is not making it lazy this campaign
no.
period.
A lot
It's
of
not
photo
making
videos
it.
are out there. And the photo shoots.
The photo shoots as well.
Yeah.
Everything coming up. We will
You
be
see this
bringing
man?
you these videos. As part of the social media impact of
And Unity Party appointed a social media influencer.
who is that
I
person?
mean, they have the whole list from different TikTok and all. I would dive into that. I was
Listen.
That's good.
So let's bring this one first. The social media impact on the campaign. The TikTokers are out. Let's bring you their voices.
This man called Josh Weir. I said, put a man picture there talking, he's sleeping. Thank you very much. You are welcome, sir. Development Papa. This man called Josh Weir. Even if you say, I don't want to talk politics, I'm not a politician. The doing of Josh Weir, the thing that Josh Weir can do, the thing that Josh Weir continue to do in Liberia will force you to talk politics. Especially for me who love Liberia and believe in development. The thing that Nancy Josh Weir doing in Liberia, my own Nancy Josh Weir doing, it forced me to come here and talk the Josh Weir business. I said, put the road from Kanta to Sanikode since 1847. Let me see it. There, thank you very much. Since 1847, this is the rare dusty road we've been riding on. All the people that don't go by there, they were there, were still riding on this road from Kanta to Sanikole. One nothing from all my hair. Put the road there in Joshua 6 years, not even good 6 years. Put the road on my head. Let me see it. Think this is the kind of man. I hear small amount of people saying Joshua shouldn't be re-elected. Why? Because someone like brother will develop. Somebody who develop in Liberia, then I say we shouldn't re-elect him. For what? Even the first time voter, they will not listen to it because they say I want to see their country developing. We the second time voter will not listen to it because we want Liberia to be developed. This kind of men are bringing so much development to Liberia. Changing slum to concrete. This is the kind of men I say we shouldn't elect. Muna road from all my hair. Put the road down from Sanikole to Lokwato. Let's see it. Thank you for the 7. This is the road. For Sanikode to Lokwato. Muna does the road from over my hair. Put the road up by Google face. Let's see it. Thank you very much. They play on me. This is the kind of man I say, oh, he shouldn't be re-elected. He should only go for 6 years. He should stop all the things he's doing because we want changing to put different person that we want Liberia to be developed. We're not listening to the masses, we're not listening to that thing you're talking, sir. Because we believe in what Joshua is doing. We see what Joshua is doing. And we want Joshua to remain there to continue what he has started in Liberia. Put the road that investing from Secretary to Tapeta. Let me see it. Thank you. God. My people, you see Joshua me. They won't vote again. I will give it to him.
Just listen to the remix of Bekugbe wanted to us. My name is Christiana Gebadi. I hail from the powerful county called Monimba, to be precise, the most civilized and integrated district within Nimba. District number 6, Tapetan Statutory District.
I am Miss Regina Lamford. I'm here from Maryland County, Bleje, to be specific. Listen to our remix. Yo. But who I want to talk to you?
Yo.
That's all.
Yo.
Like all of you.
Yo.
That's all.
Yo.
Yo.
Bagugbe amon la to all.
Yo.
That's some more yo.
Yo.
But not all of all.
Yo.
Yo.
But who I want to see again?
Yo.
Yo get hinting.
Yo.
Let him see from you.
Yo.
But that's some more.
Yo.
Yo.
Bagugbe na promise again. He told us he will pay for you.
Yeah.
That's some more yo.
Yeah.
But not all of all.
Yo. But who say you will be over here brief from here, Debbie? He will give us suitable platform to suitable sour to work from here, Debbie to Brush Street.
Yo.
You not see it? No. Yo. Where is our coastal highway?
Yo.
But who will not do it again?
Yo.
He want you to get his chance.
Yo.
So you get a lot of
Yo.
We not accepting it.
Yo.
Yeah.
The four lady na la to all.
Yeah.
She got loom for all the women.
Yeah.
But we can see a
Yeah.
yo. That's some more yo. But not all of all. Yo.
Move on your ear where muya. Move on your ear where muya. We gay says yeah you are merrymaking. We gay says yeah you brought hardship. We gay says yeah you are dancing buka. We gay says yeah you brought kush in the country. So move on your ear where muya.
And I tell you, the TikTokers, they're making sure their messages are out. And what impact are we seeing from social media in these campaign periods?
One will want to overlook this, but I think social media do have influence on the young people currently. It might not affect the older folks, but I think a lot of the young people are they're making efforts. They're interested in this particular election. Unlike previous elections, like 2017, I did see a couple of young people that were involved, but this one seems really different. A lot of young people are interested in this, and they're making it their business to spread out the information, to spread out the news. I have seen a lot, like I mentioned previously, the photo shoots. A lot of young people are they're spending their own cash. Um, they're using their own funds to make t-shirts and a lot of things to show out their support. They're passionate, and I like that because it's time that we ourselves we're asking for change. We're talking about wanting to see a difference in our country, and we want to boast of it, but we haven't really participated in it in a way that will show we actually want to see this change we're talking about. But this time around, it's different. We can see that a lot of people are showing their support, and they're in the streets, yeah, and they're on social media. So they are using different means of communication to spread out the message that at least it is time that the young people get involved in this whole process, and show how passionate we can be about things. And TikTok is one. It's one of the newest social media platforms, but a lot of the young people have taken over it, and they've made sure that this particular campaign process, people all over the world know that Liberia's elections are coming up. The election in Liberia right now, I know there's this. I saw one TikTok video with one African American person who commented on it and said, "Which country is this?" And a lot of Liberian came for this person and checking, like, because they're saying they made a campaign slogan with a TikTok, and so a lot of Liberians came on and were replying and talking about how our elections are coming up. And I just felt a little proud that we are not just involved in this campaign, but we're out there where people are reaching out and getting to know about us.
Yeah.
So indeed, this is a form of media. We cannot overlook it, and it helps to influence people positively or negatively. So again, the message is being concise. Like you listen, hey, this person did this rule, right? It's over 6 years. This person did not do this. They promised us this. So they summarize all of the things and just bring it in a nutshell to the audience. So indeed, social media help to influence people's perception about everything. It's just the normal media, or how the media was very much instrumental. So indeed, election is here, and that's one of the best tools we can use, because guess what? We have at least a growing population on the internet. Again, people will start.
Majority of the young people are social media fanatic. They are, especially for the first time voters.
Yes.
It's now. I don't know the data for that, because looking at our country, Liberia, I would say Montserrat, you have a lot of people, but in Leeward counties, right, you will have other people who don't have access to social media. So, but indeed, they help to influence people's perception.
That's a good one indeed. But let's look at yesterday. There was this embarrassing situation in Bombay County. We're just talking about that later with the president, taking to the people. His second leg of his campaign is on the Western Belt, bombing. I think Cape Bound and Bapulu in that area. He was in bombing yesterday. In Tottenberg, we saw this embarrassing scene where the president had announced that he's going to be supporting Senator Maurice Tuma as for his re-election bid. And Maurice Tuma came from the Unity Party. Now he's with the CDC, and in the midst of that yesterday, it was embarrassing to see people of Bombing rejecting Senator Setuma openly before the president, before the leadership of the county, and all of that. I will just play an excerpt. We'll play excerpts from what happened, the embarrassing situation yesterday in Tottenberg, Bombay County. So if you are there watching, let's bring you these voices. President Weah had to take to the podium. Senator Setuma had to come up and apologize to the people. Senator Snow had to speak. So it started when he was announced to speak just before the president. Let's bring you this piece.
Hello? Aose! Aose! Kakaleka, kakaleka. All right, okay, hello. Okay. This is a political rally, and that's why I said, I know some of you here have your own interests, but you are supporting the president, right? So, we have to respect our elders. We have to respect everybody. At this time, we call on Senator Setoma to give the vote of thanks to all of you. Hello? Hello? Okay. Excuse me. Listen. The first thing you have to carry with you is respect. I want you to listen. If you are student or you are citizens or we are shared, the first thing you got to carry with you is respect. I want you to listen to me. This is not fighting ground. We in a democratic process and we have the right. You should not be shouting if they call anyone to speak. You have your vote. You know what to do, but do not disturb the program. You understand? And you need to have respect. If you don't have respect, then you don't need to even vote for me. I'd rather for you to vote against me than to disrespect or elder. You understand? So, if you're not a citizen or you get well citizen teacher to come and disturb here, there's no need for you to exist. You need to leave. You need to leave. We came to a program. If you want to listen, you listen. If you don't want to, you leave. If you go vote, you don't want to vote for the person, you can vote for the person you want to vote for. Mr. President, we thank you. We thank you for all what you've been doing. And we thank you also for giving me the kind of cooperation and system you are giving. Mr. President, I'm sorry for what happened now. I'm very sorry, Mr. President, for what happened over there. What happened over there, I think it's not common for bombing people. What happened over there is uncommon. Bombing people don't act like this. So at the end of the day, there can be an outburst. But however, we're just sorry that it happened.
No problem.
No, let me say something. I'm a candidate in a race, but it does not necessarily mean that you gotta vote for me. This election that is in bombing will be judged by what you have done for the county. It's not something done by what you have done for the county. And at the end of the day, we compare all what I call tangibles in each of the district, each of the town, and each of the ward. This thing is not something people come there and come up with euphoria of doing what you have done. What you have done. But thank you very much anyway. This is a lesson that if I was to work, I would work a little harder.
And I tell you, Senator Morris Tuman there, and later on you listen to that concluding statement, it is a lesson that tells me that if I want to work, I will work a little harder. Do you think that's a concession statement by the senator?
Like you said, it's embarrassing for me. I don't see it as an embarrassing situation. This is politics.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just say this famous quote. Democracy is based upon the conviction there are extraordinary possibilities in ordinary people.
Mm-hmm.
This was just saying there at that video we just watching at a scene in Bombing County. And from former President Abraham Lincoln often say the battle is stronger than the bullets. So that's the situation we see our leaders when people don't feel satisfied giving you 9 years as senator.
Mm-hmm.
When people don't feel satisfied giving you 6 years as a government, this is how they react. So they need to go back into the closets and see. And like the king is naked, no one can tell him that he's naked. Maurice Tuma have been naked for years. What are citizens of Bomi County doing? The president, he's been running the country for 6 years, knowing that Maurice Tuma is on his ticket. What do they do, right, to ensure that, hey, this person we put in there and is meeting the needs of the people? Again, you cannot satisfy everybody. You don't know who is who. Like somebody said from one of the speaker, some people wear parties in uniform. As you know, people go to program, they just getting $5, $10, but they just hate certain people. And going at those days that people vote on party line. People may like George Weah, people may hate George Weah, they may like Edwin Snow, they may hate Edwin Snow, they may like George Weah. So people are now voting, no lifting hands up going at those days in previous election. So this is just a sign that the people voice must be heard. Like the president said, it is not to be shouting right there, go to the ballot, right? But it's just a sign of they're telling you, okay, this is what we want to do. So at least the president know that, hey, something is wrong.
My ticket is going to lose in the senatorial seat in Bomi. Yeah. You think that's a clear sign? Joanne, let's hear you.
I think what the people did was their only means of communicating this issue. There is no way the president haven't heard or have not even seen the dissatisfaction from the people in that district or in that particular
county.
Maurice Tuma isn't a stranger to them. And for the president himself to be endorsing him, it's an indication that he's satisfied with what he's done, with what Satima has done for the people, and so he thinks that Satima will be a better candidate going
it was forward. The party, it was not the president who endorsed.
But from her point, I did listen to President Weah saying that he needed certain things to be done in the Senate. Senator Setuma, when other lawmakers were against his bills, his policies, Senator Setuma was one person who supported him.
Right.
So in him, it's time that he paid back by supporting his candidacy. So and with all of this coming on,
telling the people that they shouldn't use that time to express the feelings that they're having. Where else can they do it? The fact that this man is standing in front of me right now, if I'm not able to tell him how I feel, when should I say it? Because there's not going to be another indication other than the fact that they're going to go to the ballots. They're going to go to elections. They're going to decide on their votes. But if they do not say it now for him to know, they might go to the if and they're staying in the crowd over there and they're sharing him. They might go to elections and not vote for him, and he would say maybe the people cheated.
You think that he was cheated?
He would think that he was cheated because the people he had all of those people over there who were celebrating him, and then suddenly he have lost so many votes.
Why did they not boost no? Why only too much?
That's the thing with dissatisfaction. You and I could be here in the same, we doing almost the same thing for the people, but your relationship with the people and mine will be different, and they might be satisfied with what you're doing, and not be satisfied with what I am doing. And so there is no smoke over there. Nobody blame. But from the moment the president mentions Setuma, you could hear the entire atmosphere. You could hear the booing, and so it's the people only wanted the president to know that, hey, you yourself might be overlooking this thing, but we have serious issues with this individual, and we do not want him. And even though the people might like the president and they might want to vote for George Weah, they want him to know that the person who he's endorsing, the person whose hands he's about to lift up, they do not want that person. So I think it's time that the president reconsider. Well, the party have already chosen this president, so they probably cannot do much about it at this time. But the people need him to know that they aren't satisfied, and so they should do something about it. It's in shutting them up and saying, if you're a year and you're not a sedition, or you're only wearing our t-shirts and you're only here to disturb, I think that was wrong. In closing them up, it means that his people voices aren't being considered, and he do not think that their choices or their thinkings and their actions should be justified for what happened over there.
So and this is something. It's not my first time seeing this. I saw this 2011 when President Weah, then peace ambassador, had gone to District 11. I think 11, but then where Dave Kuman was representative.
Yeah.
After serving his first term and then was seeking re-election, and
no, it was 9 by then.
district number 9.
11.
Yeah. So the people had come out and they on the campaign trail, and people telling Ambassador, we are then in his face that we will vote for your ticket, but we cannot vote for Representative Dave Kuman because he has done nothing over the first 6 years we gave him. And so it did come to pass. Dave Kuman was heavily defeated in district number 9 at the time. So, like you put it, it was one place that people can openly tell the president how they felt. I mean, tell Maurice Tuma that you had 9 years or whatever term you had. We did not see anything, and you are coming back. We are not going to listen to you. If they could not listen to Senator Snow, who they overwhelmingly elected, they supported Lahad Lassana's wife in a district that Snow took her through. She heavily won that. If they could not listen to Senator Snow, they found it hard to listen to even the president.
And don't waste our time after election thinking that you were cheated because we're not voting for you.
If I was a Tuma, I would know that now,
The thing is, that's why when I hear people talking, I'm like, politics in Liberia is deceptive. It's self-centered. It's not about the masses. This was just seen because this man supported me when I was in the Senate. It's about me. It's not about what the people feel, right? So I should lift his hand out. What do you get from the people? That's what people do survey, right? You have all of your army, you have all of your party officials and other people on the ground in Bomi County. Before you even hit Bomi County, you should know what's up. You go on a county, you should know what's up. And who is Mofil? Alex Tyler. He was with the former. He supported them during 2017 election. He's no longer with them. You know how Alex Tyler was put out of the House of Representatives, and now Edwin Snow came into the Senate picture after LaSalle, this guy Basewe, who was campaigning for him. And what happened is we need to respect the views of the people. It is not about me, because Cyrus, my best friend, he supported me. I go in Montserrat County, so I must read between the lines about politics. Politics is all about interest, but interest must not exceed the people's desire. That's why I said in my quote, democracy is based upon conviction. It must be convinced, right? There are extraordinary possibilities in ordinary people.
That's a strong one indeed. Extraordinary possibilities in ordinary people, and we're seeing the messages from the ordinary people. I mean, and if you look at our legislature over the period since 2005, we always see new faces. Like for the Senate, 2011, 15% went for re-election, just 2 returned. It was Senator Geraldine Doe, Sherry the late, and now Associate Justice Nangwe from Sino. They were the 2 that returned after 2011 to the Senate. The House of Representatives, there were a lot of new faces. Now 73 of them are up for 73 seats are up for grabs. 15 in the Senate, 73 in the House of Representatives. Our people are watching now. It's not normal like before, where you just come and just gave them rice and gave them T-shirts and they run to you. We saw in the past where people wore party T-shirts, attend rallies, go back to their original party headquarters, take out those T-shirts because they just got their little $1 or $2 and they're back to where they believe they belong. And I think maybe the president sensed that, everybody there is cheering, but when you introduce a senatorial candidate he supports, they went wide rejecting that person. And I've seen on the campaign trail everywhere President Weah went in Monserrato, he took the representative candidate they are supporting, and Senator Sir Joseph, and he will introduce them to the people as the party's representatives or candidates, and he's doing that in other counties. We saw him doing that across Bami. Even at that program yesterday when he introduced the candidate for that district, people were all jeering. So I think that's a lesson to our officials, that the electors are now watching. They are taking they're keeping score of your performances in whether it's your county level, your district level. They are not taking it for granted. If they could look in the face of President Weah yesterday and openly,
I know the president
reacted that way.
a couple of years ago would have not even have to say anything, just holding that
I wonder
president's
if I've
hand,
seen your picture with the president with the president's picture on a banner, or So that's a clear indication the people are watching. If you are not doing good, they're gonna keep their feelings and wait for this period of when we happy, Nathan. That's one thing I'm happy that nobody going back to the bush with guns. They are waiting for the time that they can cast their ballots to kind of tell you as leaders how they feel or how they've been feeling over the period that they gave you to serve. So that's a huge one indeed. And Joseph Barker was also out yesterday. In one of the districts, he also started touring Maserati. So he's like, as president, we are leaving one county, then the Unity Party is taking all. Mr. Cummings he's been on foot, doing his regular walk, and it's been crazy. We also saw Simeon Freeman yesterday at the local Atai Center. We will bring you these voices. Let's begin with Joseph Newman Barker, former vice president of the Republic of Liberia, now seeking the presidency of our country for the second time. Will he be granted? What's his message to the people? Let's listen to him on one of his campaign trails yesterday across Maserati County.
People take their time for no other reason to come to listen to you. You cannot afford to disappoint them, because it's a matter of hope that they produce a leader that care for them. But something is strange. I forgot, please have your seats. If you were a good football player and you are looking forward to a game, you go prepare with your team. Then you go and carry the casket of the person you're coming to play. Then are you ready to play? No! Because then you want a person dead, right? Yeah! So you'll be declared a default. When you do a good job in a country, you serve your people, you don't have to be running around. Because your work will show. 6 years ago, are your life better? No. Are your children in school? No. Is the food price gone down? No. Are you walking in streets that are safe? No. You look at the prices of goods on the market. And we know people who do market. Are your interest rates that you pay on the loans you take, are they something that you can make profit from? No. That's what we're talking about, bread and butter issues. What is it that touches the life of people? What is it that makes a country good? So it's not about friendship, it's not about relationship, it's about you, your future, and the future of your children. And that's what we're talking about. 6 years these people be in power.
Traffic out of Liberia is less than 100,000 a year. Ravasi Road already working. We destroy it. We say we want to build 4-lane road. You build 4-lane road to a place where there is traffic. You could stay on Ravasi Road and every 40 minutes you'll probably see one car passing. The money we took to do that, we could have provided more hospital beds. You know better than me. When you go to JFK, they tell you leave the sick person in the car and come. Leave the sick person in the car and come. This is the Liberia we are living. This is not about Simeon Freeman. This is not about Simeon Freeman. This is about a Liberian that is concerned about our country. A better Liberia will not come through fasting and praying. A better Liberia will come through the power of your vote. When we screw up the country by electing the wrong leaders into power, that's the outcome we get.
Samuel Freeman of the Movement for Progressive Change (MPC). You listen to him, and let's begin with former Vice President Boyka. I think this cascade issue it got to the old man.
We talked about this recently. We talk about it on here, Nathan and I, and like I say initially, this is something that wasn't right, for people to be having caskets and stuff around. But I think it got to the old man, as he stated, because he's still talking about it to today's date. And a lot of people I know have been attacking his health and his well-being. And so I think when people holding the caskets and talking about him being close to his grave, it brings up mixed feelings. He's a person, and nobody should be wishing death on another person, no matter what reason it is, whether it's because of politics or if it's because of anger. And so to see people in the streets having caskets around, using it as a form of campaign, it sends a bad message to our democracy, because we are out here and we're telling people that Liberians are peace-loving people. Liberians Liberians love each other. And so if we ourselves are trying to preach this message about us being peace-loving people, how are we in the streets using caskets as forms of campaigning and wanting people to support our candidates? Because as I stated initially, I personally would not vote for a particular candidate who's inciting people to get on the streets with caskets. And one will argue that it was not the candidates that made the partisans to do that, but what did the candidates do when they realized that was happening? I know I talk with,
but with all of the condemnation that came after that, should people still be speaking about that?
I think some people are trying to use of something to gain sympathy. It's possible that they might be using it as other forms of running their own campaigns as well. But this has been a while now, and I think we should be hearing other things. Yeah, we agree that this was wrong, but why are we still talking about it at this time? Why are we still dwelling on this issue? There are a lot of other things we can be talking about. You should be selling yourself. You should be telling us what you want to do for us. What are you going to do if we vote you? Instead, we're all bringing each other down. That's the one thing that I'm not getting about this particular campaign. I know I had a conversation with somebody a couple of weeks ago about how Ellen's time Ellen was selling herself. She was telling the Liberian people what she would do for them. She was telling them what she's capable of doing and the things that Liberians needed to hear and what she wanted to do. But unlike this time around, all of the candidates are, they're basing on bringing each other down and not really selling themselves and letting the people know. And so what does that say about the candidates that are contesting? I know that a few of them are trying to sell themselves and tell the people what they would do. But most of the ones that we are actually looking up to, they're basing their whole campaign on pettiness and just tearing each other down and talking about this person. What would this person do and what have this person done? I don't think at this point of the entire campaign process that's what we should be focusing on. I feel like you should tell us what you want to do for us.
Later.
The thing is,
do you think they are don't giving messages to the people, other than, like you said, Joanne, they're not saying what they will do, or they only counting the wrongs of others? What do you think, Later?
Well, they are saying what they will do, because if you listen to one of the top candidates with Exxon, they are putting forth. In politics, when you are fighting, you always identify somebody in epicness.
So how much time do you spend on it?
Well, it doesn't matter how much time. It matters the content or the context of your message and the crowd you are speaking to at that moment. Now, for me, it's not an issue if Joseph Boga still I think 100 years from now, if he still exists, because that was a major start of campaign, a factor to influence election violence. So that can be used anytime. I think they are still preaching a message. They should continue on that path, but going down into discussing people health issue, people relationship like marital affairs. These are all petty, right? But hey, sometimes too, you have to expose the weakness of another side.
Hmm.
So what I think is our people don't need all of these things, right? It may sound petty to you, but hey, that one action by the CDC people, it has driven away some of the supporters. Also, that one action have brought on supporters to the CDC. Some people were in favor of it. So everything has the good and bad side of it. But for the general perspective of our country, we cannot be going with casting, towing, and stuff like that. So he was just saying, see how petite, see how leadership should come in. The moment you saw your parties in holding casting and thing,
Yeah.
you shouldn't have waited for other international community to speak before you come and speak. You have auxiliary. So it's about leadership. That's the content of that message. So you can say, oh, he shouldn't talk about it. If you go now and call his people to hold judge, we are not casted to, then it's more of, you know. So that's one of the issues there. But indeed, for me, what I'm saying is all of the candidates have the butts. All of them have the butts. They need to start watching the butts. And, you know, I mean, the bad deeds of people who they align themselves with and put forth that message. If you look at from the ruling coalition for democratic change, they have not done well for the people of Liberia. How can they convince the people to re-elect and to give them second term, right? It's just like first impression in relationship. We say, what first impression. The current people who seeking power, the Chusha Imam Burger, see the people he's aligned himself with, right? See his role he has played in Liberia over the years. That's why he needs to be looking at how can he shoot up against the people. The like of Alexander B. Cummins and Charlie Bromskin, what can they bring forth to our country? What have they done? That's why we need to be looking at in the CPP, all of the Rickman role in our CPP. So there are a whole lot of factors that need to be corrected. And our country, Liberia, is bigger than the George Weah, the Joseph Boca, the Alexander Cummins, the Tiawon Gonglo, the Seymour Framer.
So then, on that note, you agree that they are not really saying what their platforms are.
Well, they are saying, if you listen to or some of the spokesperson, I listened to a couple of them, Kona Baba, Abu Ali, they are projecting.
So the thing about this is their spokespersons have been speaking, right? But the candidates themselves, I'm not saying they haven't brought forth their platforms, they haven't said anything, but the fact that they are spending so much time on, bringing each other down and being, and showing jobs at one another instead of, consistently reminding the Liberian people that this is what you need and this is what I want to do for you. It's a whole different game. We want to know this time around. Unlike I know previous elections, there were a couple of citizens who were saying how many times person we have to hear you're going to do something for you, stop holding the man responsible and all of that. I know they were saying it because of fun, but I could understand the fact that he didn't say much of what he was going to do for Liberia. So at this time we need somebody that will say, okay, I'm going to do this, this is what I'm going to do, so that as the years go by and if we actually vote that person, we're able to hold you by something and remind you that this is what you said, this is what you promised the Liberian people that you are going to do, and we need to start start seeing you doing those things.
All right, that's a huge one indeed. And we also listened to Mr. Seymour Freeman giving some punches on some of the what he called failures from the government. But we, like you say, we also need to listen to him. What can you do? He had a very good policy document on 11. I think this is his second or third time running. Yeah, and if he still do have that particular document, he called his policy for Liberia. What have he done since election to impact the people through what he wanted? So those are a couple of things that Liberians should be looking for, like you put it, and not just looking for the crowd
showing the shortcomings of this government, which I know you're supposed to do as an opposition. You want to remind the people that these are the shortcomings of your current leadership, but you're also supposed to be assuring them that of course they have those shortcomings. I am coming to make a change. I'm coming to work on those things, and not just showing them. It's like a person taking responsibility of something that they've done wrong and saying, oh, I know I did this thing, but what are you going to do to make a difference? So, are you just going to say, I'm sorry, I know that I wronged you, but and just not do anything to make a change? And, are you just going to continuously say, I'm sorry, but you're not doing anything to make a difference?
And indeed, that's where, like I said, the people need to hold them hold their leaders accountable during this period. Those that are not in leadership, what have they been doing, with their lives that would impact our country generally if they are elected? But one thing that has been on the lips of most of the political parties, especially the two major ones, is that
You got two or three.
well, maybe two or three major ones,
Yeah.
but mainly I've been hearing this from the Coalition for Democratic Change and the Unity Party of a first round victory.
Yeah.
Is this possible with Liberia? Our constitution says 50% plus one vote. Mr. Comey has been reacting to that. I have this essay with an interview on the VOA yesterday. Let's play that and listen to his own, view on whether there is a first round victory, and we can talk about that.
James, we all signed the Farmington Declaration. We all pledged to participate and make sure our partisans participated in free, fair, transparent, and peaceful elections. And so for there to be some violence from the get-go, it's quite disappointing. And I call on all of my colleagues and other political actors to let's ensure we lead by example, and let's ensure these elections are free, fair, transparent, and peaceful. But most importantly, James, I call on the government of Liberia. President Weah has the constitutional obligation to ensure these elections are secure and are peaceful. Yes, we have to play our part, and we will, but he controls the National Elections Commission, he controls the National Police, all the security apparatus, and it's incumbent upon him, again, to make sure that his party, his institution, sets the example, he set the tone.
Every time I speak with any politician from Liberia, especially ahead of the elections, I'm almost compelled to ask the question about the opposition. I was just speaking about the Gabon election this week and how the opposition came together to go against President Bongo. So how are you, the opposition in Liberia, how are you approaching? Are you still approaching the election separately?
Yeah, but James, there are three main contenders for the presidency in Liberia. And that is not a big number, though there are others on the ballot. The reality is, any and all polling shows that there are three main contenders: Alexander Cummings, Joseph Boykai, and George Weah. And I don't believe that's too many. Whoever gets to the runoff, that is where I think the opposition will coalesce. But I think for now, it's fair, it's okay. And by the way, President Weah has a record to defend, a record that is not a good one, a failed record. And there is no way that President Weah will win in the first round as they are projecting themselves. And they're trying to work on the psychology of Liberian people, but it will not work. So I don't buy the argument that the opposition is fragmented and therefore we cannot win the incumbent.
I know you have just alluded to this particular point I'm about to make, and that is President George Weah is talking about a first round victory, wiping the opposition off the map. What's your take on the president's view?
I think the president is projecting that view because they want to justify rigging. He's projecting that view when it happens. People say, oh, but it was going to happen anyway because it's been subliminally planted in people's minds. But the good news is we are dispelling that just as aggressively as they're pushing it, and not just us, because the other major opposition party is also claiming they're winning the first round. We are also claiming we're winning the first round, so that we're trying to level the playing field psychologically. Because again, if you look at the recent history of our elections, nobody has won a first round victory. And as I mentioned in 2017, when our president was at his most popular, did not have a record to defend, had a very strong coalition. He only got 38% in the first round. Fast forward 5 years later, 6 years later, when the circumstances have changed significantly, it's unlikely that he will have a first round victory.
Alexander Benedict Cummings, he is the standard bearer of the CPP, that's the Collaborative Political Parties. They're speaking to VOA James Butty yesterday on the VOA. And Nathan, you listen to him. This issue of a one round victory or first round victory. You listen to Mr. Cummings. What's your own take?
I think he said it right. It is very much hard to just call a one-round victory looking at all of the candidates involved. And indeed, he named himself as one of the three candidates who are top in this election. But what I can say is it is too soon to call as to whether we will experience a one-round election. From previous election, we have seen that they always end up in the second round, and so we will wait and see as to whether our people, the voters, the over 2 million voters, will decide, because that's what people campaign. During campaign time, a lot of different things happen. People's minds are changed from one candidate to another. So it is too early to call as to whether there will be a one round. But from history, we have not seen a one round.
So that's a difficult one indeed. It's heavy to call. We all going to see what the voters, the people who have the power, will tell us, because we maybe people are drawing this on because of what happened in Sierra Leone, of one round victory. There was not a runoff.
Liberia is not ceremonious. Not anything on that.
And yeah, and as Mr. Cummins said, maybe those parties are saying this because when there is anything to say, yeah, but we told you that it was going to be a one round election, and we're watching the campaign to see how it will go and what's going to happen. But let's bring you this quick break with our sponsor, the Park Liquor Outlet, here in Brooklyn Park, and the as you know, they are proudly associated with Diaspora Talk, also the Mama T's restaurant in Brooklyn Park, where you can have all of the best of African taste, the Liberian, the Ghanaian, the Nigerian, and if you visit Minnesota and you want to get that taste, Mama T's is the place to be. But let's bring you this one with the Park Liquor Outlet. Let your celebration begin with Park Liquor Outlet, your first Liberian-owned liquor store in the city of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. We have everything that you need to set that special occasion or ride. For your next party or great get-together with friends, visit Park Liquor Outlet. We have great selection of beer, wine, gin, and many more at affordable prices. Our customer service will make you always want to come back. We are open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Park Liquor Outlet, your one-stop celebration store. We are located at 6315 Zine Avenue North, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Visit us today and feel the difference.
Many times when Liberians come to the States, driving becomes an issue for them. So the train coming here will give people the opportunity to find better jobs, to be able to move around easily, and will cut down some of the costs that we incur on ourselves. Some of the older people, we got people who have to go for them and bring them to buy their groceries. Now, they can do it on their own. The Blue Line coming to Brooklyn Park, especially where we are concentrated, will be a blessing to most of us.
And I tell you, if you are in the Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center, Crystal, New Hope area, the Blue Line is coming closer to you, making transportation easy and affordable across the metro and other parts of Minnesota, connecting Minnesota largely. And you got it right there. Like in the midst of everything, out of the noise that are going on in our country, Nathan, the issue of peaceful elections cannot be over stated. People need to be peaceful in the elections, and we have this message from Ambassador Julie Endy, Liberia's cultural ambassador, talking about the need for a peaceful election and people remaining committed to the Farmington Agreement that was signed by our leaders, or those that are running for public offices in Liberia. They've sat there, signed that agreement, committing their political parties and their selves, that is, to a peaceful campaign and election. Let's take this one from Ambassador Julie Endy.
The European Union signatory was someone from Sweden. So 20 years later, are we missing anything here? No, we are not. And I am grateful to the United States government because I was evacuated by the Americans. So I thank God for this day. This manifesto we are going to run with in my system. We will start running with it as tomorrow. Yeah. Tomorrow is the 20 years of uninterrupted peace. and we are commemorating it and celebrating it tomorrow. But as you stay here, except you suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder or your mental issue got a little problem, you will start knocking your chest for war. If you know what we know, you will never talk war. If you know what we know, you will never beat your war. If you've been in the experience that some of us have been in over the years, but you 30 years, you don't even know anything because you didn't experience it. But if you experience it as a Lutheran like I am and Lima is, then you will know. Anything. You put casket on and you turn around and you collapse. Something is wrong with you. They need to check your mental state. I know what it's like to go hungry. I know what it's like to eat peanuts, grumpy, and milk. So don't even try. Start to not war drum after 20 years of uninterrupted peace. We will use every medium, every channel to go to everywhere we can go to make sure we sustain this peace that we suffer. And somebody come and tell us, you're going to be telling us you want to bring your house from mosquitoes. When you have mosquitoes in your house, you put the mosquito coil, you drive them away, you clean your house. But are you going to set your house on fire because mosquito eating you? If you know what we know, and our parents sat down on our air feet, and we went to Accra and suffered in Accra, and our peace accord was signed. Don't even try us because this peace must be. If you know what I know, just go and sit in your little corner, election time, go and vote.
Julian D. Liberia's cultural ambassador, Nathan, I think the message is clear. The people of Liberia are now willing to go back to where we were some 20 years ago. 20 years of peace across Liberia, and this election is a defining moment to know where we head, after October 20th. And her message was actually very clear.
Indeed. I mean, except you can plain English, maybe we will put it in the vernacular. But if you know what we know, your man tell you that thing. If you know where I know, when you come here, I will. So you should know. So if you've been from a good home, and when your mom tell you that, you know exactly, because they will beat you until you feel it in your bone. So we will not compromise. You can be who you want to seek your power. You need to go through the proper channel and to disturb our hard-earned peace. Our families are in Liberia. Despite us being out of there, we have investment in Liberia, and there are more other things we want to attract. Other people around the world have a lot of things in Liberia. So you just there. You just see a selfish gain because of one politician to not disturb our peace. So she said it clearly, like Abraham Lincoln said, former U.S. president, the ballot is stronger than the bullet. So let's go and vote and campaign. The period is on. Campaign. Say all what you can say.
So what you can do, say all you can say.
Not touch nobody.
So on this note, we'd like to wrap it up on this edition of Diaspora Talk with me, Cyrus McGee, and my colleague Nathan Charles Jones was here, but she had to leave, due to some other pressing engagements. Thanks to all of you who follow and watch the program. You are our superheroes. And again, our condolence goes out to, the families of those who lost their lives in that motor accident yesterday on the Monrovia Banga Highway or Kakatak Banga Highway. Those young women who lost their lives yesterday. We like to say to the families, our condolences out to all of you. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week. We will be back here on Friday for a new edition of the program. But at 2:00 today, we'll also be there in Brooklyn Park, where the Small Business Center is going to be officially open today. To the people of Brooklyn Park, we will be there to bring you coverage from that point. Until Friday, have yourself a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week. Bye-bye.
When the issues of Liberia hit the news,
What is it that we, the Liberian people, want?
the Liberian communities in the diasporas are not left out. That's why Diaspora Talk is back on your screens on KMTV.
In fact, the United Party is not cohesive. Be it social, political, economic, and other issues affecting Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
I did not expect to even make it to Hollywood.
Join Cyrus McGee and Nathan Charles every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, live on KMTV, Facebook, and YouTube.
I want to be arrested in the midst of my people.
As they discuss the issues, blending the voices from Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
The Liberian Business Association in the diaspora should be used as a vehicle for economic development in Liberia because no country can develop without the diaspora impact.
For sponsorship, call cell numbers 612-806-5896, 816-433-3979, or better still, email us at usakmtv@gmail.com.
Diaspora Talk, from this house.